All right, what is going on, guys? Got a breakdown for UFC Vegas 58. I might only make a couple videos for this card because I don't love it for betting at all, and I'd like to just get into the next one, catch the algorithm again on this channel. So we'll see. Again, maybe one or two more, but I'm not looking to bet a whole lot on this card at all. So with that said, we got Chase Sherman taking on Jared Vanderaa at heavyweight. They're the same height. Vanderaa going to have a 2 inch advantage in reach. So I will start with Chase Sherman. I believe he's on his third stint with the UFC now. I'm not positive. I know he was sent packing before, and I think they caught him after the Collier fight, but then immediately brought him back to just feed him to Alexander Romanov. So I don't know. I mean, either way, man. I think if he loses this one, I think it's good night forever for Chase Sherman. But you never know, man. It's heavyweight MMA. They keep these guys around for a while. There's not as large of a pool. It's the same thing with women's fighters and sometimes flyweights. There's just only a certain amount of people who are that big or that small, and there's only a certain amount of women who fight. So when they do get them, they tend to keep them around. But in terms of his body of work, his last win was over Ike Villanueva in 2020. It was a solid win. Cracks him really good in the first round with, I believe it was a knee, and then he gets him out of there. I mean, Ike Villanueva, I can't tell you the last time he won a fight. He's another one of those guys who's just been surviving for a long time. I think he might finally be gone forever. I mean, I don't say that because I want him to be gone. I like seeing these guys succeed, but he did lose a number of fights, so I don't know if he's still on the roster. Even if he is, he hasn't won in a long time. So that's his last win. He loses a decision to Andre Arlovsky. Arlovsky's winning a ton of decisions these days. Loses to Parker Porter. A lot of people were on him in that fight. I liked the idea of him in that fight too. But Parker Porter is deceptively pretty good. He doesn't look like he would be. He looks like he's so out of shape, but he's a good fighter, man, and he can push a pace, a way heavier pace than you'd think. But yeah, he was just more creative in that one, just more volume. The wrestling was good, and against Jake Collier, I liked Collier in that fight. I liked Collier to outpoint him. Didn't love the cardio of either fighter, but Collier just threw him a curveball. I guess they identified that their wrestling was weak from Sherman takedown defense, and it also kind of accelerates just burning out his gas tank. It's the first round rear naked choke, and then again, I didn't verify it before this. Probably should have, but I don't know if it really matters. But I think they caught him, then they brought him right back to feed him to Alexander Romanov, and he just takes care of business in the first round. It was just a matter of when in that fight, really. And G man, stylistically, Chase Sherman, he's a heavyweight. He's got heavy hands, so he can get a knockout on any night. Former football player. Kind of has like a square stance. I feel like a lot of former football players fight the same way. He just kind of just he's kind of got the bar fight style, kind of. He looks like he should have it, but yeah, kind of basic if we're being real. He's not very creative with his striking. It's just one twos and hooks. Um, doesn't mix in a whole lot of wrestling on his own, and I don't love the cardio at all with Chase Sherman. He can take a punch. He has gone a few rounds in the past, but usually by the second or third round, he just looks pretty gassed. He did have a PED test at one point in his career, so you never know how much that was helping him out, or now on the flip side, now that he's getting older, it's starting to negatively affect his body, perhaps. But yeah, man, it has not been good for Chase Sherman at all recently, and Vanderaa, you could say the same thing at first glance. Similar deal, I think that they've both fought pretty tough competition, but Vandera's fought really tough competition, man. He gets the win over Harry Hunsucker in the Contender Series, who just had a great comeback win. Granted, it was over Alabado, but Hunsucker looked good, man. He looked motivated in that last fight, so he's got that win. He's got the decision win over Justin Taffa. Really close fight. But Justin Taffa was a guy who I was high on. I picked him in that fight. I was all over him in that fight. But yeah, he manages to get it done, man. Bandera does, and he's pretty durable. That's what I like about his game. Like I said, he's had a lot more losses than wins in his UFC career. He's 1-4 in the UFC outright. But you look at these names, man. Sergey Spivak, great wrestler. Alexander Romanov. I mean, let's say Sergey Spivak is a very good wrestler. Romanov is a great wrestler. Arlovsky, so another common opponent there. But against Romanov, he survived the first round. He got taken down. He got back up, got beat up, but he gets back up, and then he throws a wayward kick immediately, gets taken down, gets beat up some more, and gets ground and pound KO'd in the second round. But he did, he hung in there, man. He showed that he's tough, and he's got himself a chin, and he can strike when it is at range. I think he had a clear striking advantage in that fight. He couldn't hold his kicks together. I think he would have lost eventually anyway, but who knows, man? When Romanov was actually chubby like that, he slimmed down. He looks a lot better. Um, his striking was not good, and I always worried about him just kind of burning himself out and getting KO'd. So it's good he finished that one the way he did. But yeah, loses to Andre Arlovsky. It's a split decision, close fight. So again, man, it's a better performance than Chase Sherman had against Arlovsky, and MMA math doesn't work, but it's not really MMA math, It's just like you're kind of measuring how they looked against the same fighter, and he looked all right, and then he loses to Alexei Oleinik, but Alexei Oleinik doesn't age, and I mean he definitely does age, but he just does things that don't make sense on the ground and manages to get these submissions. He has a submission in 4 different decades, I believe, in pro MMA, so. Yeah, man, they'll have to carry him out of the octagon on a stretcher, honestly. But yeah, man. Again, I like Jared Vandeرا's offensive wrestling. It's not terrible. I think against Chase Sherman, he can really exploit that. I think he's got better cardio. I think he's got better durability. I think he's got better technique. He's also just a tiny bit rangier. And yeah, man, I honestly really do um I like Jared Vandera in this spot on FanDuel minus 196. DK can get a better price minus 180. And here's the thing, man. Like honestly, like this is the fight I'd like to bet on, but I just don't know if I can bring myself to just lay chalk on Jared Vandera. Like I kind of want to do that. Like, I just want to put like a few units on Jared Vandera and call it a night. I don't think I can do that, man. It just feels irresponsible to do that for Jared Vandera. I'm not opposed to bigger wagers, but heavyweight MMA, betting on a guy who's 1-4, like that just always seems like a recipe for disaster. But man, Chase Sherman just looks absolutely shot after a round or two, and his takedown defense is not good. His get up ability is not good. His sub defense is not good. I think if Jared Vandera can get this fight to the ground in the first round, whether he gets the finish or not, I think Sherman's just going to be exhausted after that. Vandera's going to know what to do, and I think he's either going to cruise to a decision here with his wrestling, or I do think he's probably going to get this fight done. I would say in the second round. I haven't made a round bet in a little while. So maybe I'll look into that. But yeah, man, I really like Jared Vandera in this spot, but I just like it's hard for me to justify like really laying chalk on it, and I don't really see anything that I'd want to parlay it with in this card. So maybe I'll make it like a 2 or 3 unit parlay for one fight on this card and one fight on the next card. I still gotta look, but yeah, man, part of me does want to just make a husky wager on Jared Vandera. So yeah, I do like Jared Vandera in this fight. So thanks for watching, guys. Sure to subscribe and take it easy.